Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello again on our fourth series of the Leaders of Enterprise webinar, Faculty of Engineering, University Technology Malaysia. So first, thanks to all our viewers. Don't forget to like and share our webinar. Today, we're going to have a special guest. Uh, he is Engineer Ling Ngie, the Project Director of Senibong Cove. He will be sharing with us. The title of his talk today is Waterfront Development with its River Management. To make it more interesting today, Engineer Ling will be accompanied by Professor Engineer Dr. Muhammad Fadil Madin from University Technology Malaysia. There always the reasons why actually Prof Fadil together with Ling today, because they've been working together. I think we just have a chat just now 10 years ago, I think, yeah. So on this related to environmental and sustainability. So today's topic will be interesting for us to listen and to hear about what have been done previously, what happened today on the environmental and sustainability in Johor Bahru, especially related to Senibong Cove. And Prof. Fadil will also share with us what will be the move forward, what is going to be ahead of us, what we plan for the future. So then we are actually looking for future collaboration between Senibong Cove and also UTM. So to all, welcome for our webinar. And Dr. Fadil will be actually supportive presentation by Engineer Ling. And then later, they will actually share with us what are the plans for the future. So for that, up to you. I pass to you, Engineer Ling. Over to you, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Swaimi.
You're welcome.
Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and members of UTM. I think it's a great honor to have this opportunity to do some sharing for the UTM staff and students. I think this is just back to my memory. I was there in 1987 until 1993. So I think it's a great pleasure to have this opportunity to share with all our members.
Yes,
yes. Today's topic is a waterfront development with its river management. I think in Malaysia, when we talk about the waterfront, we always think about actually it's only the overseas, like in Australia or US. Actually, in Malaysia, we have a lot of coastal line, especially in Penang, and even in the southern part of Johor. I think 20 years ago, I think hardly people talk about this waterfront development. We have this project called Senibong Cove. We have started actually in 2005. It's just opposite this Singapore, the Sembawang. So it's a development. Maybe we can go to the next slide. It's a development between the worker from Australia and our government, Iskandar. Next. So just now when I mentioned, always when we talk about the waterfront, we think about overseas. It's true. Actually, we learn a lot. Actually, is from Australia side. Worker Group actually, our main investor is the biggest private developer in Australia. So they have a lot of expertise and experience in the waterfront. So this slide actually shows some of the project in Hope Island, Brisbane, or Gold Coast. So we have replicate this concept idea into the local market. Next. So I think look at this map. Just now I mentioned the location actually is just opposite Sembawang. It's not that far. It's in the Johor Bahru. So of course, if our audience have an opportunity, always can drive here, have a look. Next. I will show the before and after of this project. We have gone through, I think we have gone through for a lot of hassle. Because when we started, the biggest challenge is real water quality. Next. We have started in this 2000. We started 2008.
2009,
the site actually consists of the fish pond. So we have carried out the infill for all the fish pond. Reclamation actually is on the outer part. Next. So we have taken almost 5 to 6 years to reclaim all land ready. So you can see this project actually is very unique compared with some of the development, actually very squarish or very rectangular. You see the piece of land actually very curved in. Okay, so the land actually is separated by the river. The river called Sungai Lunchu. I think the history actually started from this Sungai Lunchu. We have, because it's a waterfront development, we have carried out a lot of soil investigation. So this is one of the try run we have been carried out in order to compact the land in a proper form. So instead of using the vertical, okay, those actually civil engineer probably you know, instead of vertical, actually we, based on this try run, we have decided to use a surcharge of preloading. Next. River Momo has been introduced because it's a waterfront, it's a coastal line, so you have to protect all the edge of the land. So for the inner part, actually we have introduced a 2-layer of the river wall, and which facing the Strait of Johor, actually 3-layer of the river wall. Next. Okay, look at this plan. You can see the blue color actually is a channel we have dredged up to -6 meter, 5.5 to 6 meter, and the bigger portion actually is a marina. That is our marina. So this project actually not only the normal houses or park. Okay, we have a marina over there. So later we show some photo. Actually, this marina actually has been fully occupied by the local and the foreign boat. And the river of Sungai Lunchu has been dredged also. Actually, we have filled up to plus 3.5 meter. 3.5 meter. So for this, for the island, you can see some of the inside the island. So actually, we realign the fish pond. So we make this island. Actually, we have a canal inside the island, and then with the what they call that, with the based on the water tide, high tide and low tide. So the water actually in the canal actually has been refreshed every 14 days, or recycled every 14 days. Maybe later we also can touch a bit more on this aspect. Next. So in terms of all these reclamation, what I call that, this earthwork or reclamation, revetment wall, the tribe ban for the soil compaction, even the what I call that, the canal flushing, all this has been covered in an IEM journal.
Okay.
Okay, this is back to 2010 to 2013. So during the time, actually, we have been lucky because the catchment for this river actually is not that big. It's only 7.5 kilometers square. Compared with some of the river like Sungai Skudai or Sungai Terbau, they have quarters and a factory. So it's a bit difficult to manage. So for this river, saying that also, I think it's a lot of hard work actually has been put in. Next, we have in order to manage this river or to counter this, we have engaged with the local authority, where lies with ERDA, DOE, local council, MBJB, DID, and most of the authority engage with the local authority to assist us because especially the upstream, because we know, okay, they have a lot of proposals. Why not do the subfiltration, this, that, or this thing? But we know that, and then we know that actually without minimize the upstream pollution, so downstream is just a filtration. You don't solve the problem from the source. So we work together closely with the local authority, and the engagement with the few factories upstream that has taken quite some time also. The factory has no choice; they have to upgrade their treatment plant. There is one factory actually they don't have proper license; they have to close down this and that, all these things. Next. This is during the time we have put out the oil boom. So you can from there you can see every day we manage we manage to collect almost a 40 barrel of oil. Huh? It's not gold, it's
Engineering,
oil.
engineering, yeah. When we look at the photos, yeah, it's kind of scary, right?
Yeah.
So during the project, what is, I mean, you're thinking of are we possible to clean it up before, or you have a big challenge to face that?
We yeah. I think one thing is good. Actually, it is supposed actually we come to the next stage. We we have carried out a few measures,
Mm.
and we believe this water quality can be improved. Okay.
You
First, I
believe that?
think the first criteria is because the catchment is not that big. Second, we don't have a squatter on the upstream. We are very lucky
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because to evict the squatter, I think that is even more difficult than remove the factory.
Yeah.
So maybe later we go into the next step, how we clean out the water, all these things, and then how we engage together, we work together with UTM.
Yes. Yes.
Next is actually we also have applied some mud bowl also
Oh, yeah.
on the upstream, but this one actually on the still water actually it work quite well. Uh,
Mm.
but if let's say you have a current, most of the time may not work so well. But somehow or another, this is one of the measures we have to implement.
Yeah, yeah. This is microorganism, right? You
Yes,
told,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, this one actually we work together with the Orang Asli,
Mm-hmm.
which is not far away from us. So this is part of our CSR also. Our project actually
So you,
working
you
together.
mean we have a community of orang asli around that area?
Yeah, we have 24 families actually near.
Mm.
So actually, the other river, small river called Sungai Senyum, they are actually staying in the area.
Mm.
Uh, Next.
That's great. Yeah.
We have dredged the river. So you see, normally, okay, for those civil engineer or reclamation or marine consultant, they will
Mm.
know when we dredge a river, normally they will recommend is a cutter suction system. So actually, you drive, you scout the riverbed or seabed. But in this case, actually, we put the excavator on the barge. It's a very traditional way. So we excavate the river in a very careful manner because we know end of the day this project sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot disturb the marine life because
Yes, yes,
if you
yes. You're
remove the
right.
marine life, you can't see the birds and the
Yeah,
others fauna and flower. All right.
sure. Prof.
So
Ade,
this
can I ask you a few questions, Prof. Ade? Yeah, one questions.
Yeah.
Just wonder when actually you started working with engineering, because this is already 2010. So are you start working earlier than that
We
date? Yeah.
we have a data on mangrove area for that site before that. So
I see.
once the project is coming in, so we found that the problem on the contamination is not from this activity itself. It's actually from the industry. So that's why we
Industry.
come and then we try to help.
I see. Okay, okay. Okay, sorry, the engineering. Please continue. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
sure.
Oh, I suppose I thought that I do the invitation for Professor Fadil.
It's okay, it's okay. You can continue.
Okay. Okay, next slide. We go for next slide. Next slide. Okay, this is ongoing work. So we have to do the desiltation from time to time,
Mm-hmm.
maintain the riverbed, or at the marina side. So same thing also, we use a very friendly manner or environment friendly manner, friendly.
Environment friendly. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, by the way, just to share, actually we have a sea otter. Sea otter
Yeah.
actually living in our place. Is so we believe the sea otter is from Singapore side. Now they come over here. They're living over here.
You bring the passport, I think.
No, what they call that? No circuit breaker. Okay, next.
Yeah.
Next, we also have a swamp which we have managed to preserve.
Turn it
This
into,
one
yeah.
we lies with our original landowner KPRJ, so we
Mm.
apply to the government to preserve this swamp because we believe the swamp is important.
Yes, yes.
That is why all the marine, all the natural life can be preserved
Yeah.
at this location. So okay, one hand actually
But
we are into the commercial aspect for the development. The other hand we are looking into the environment nature, which need to be preserved and sustainable. Okay, next. Next I think is on the UTM side. As I said, this is back to 2008 when we started.
so I think
Where
now
we started
Fadil turn, yeah, Prof. Fadil turn, yeah. Please, Prof. Fadil.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very
Now it's
much,
your portion.
Engineer Ling. And
Yeah.
thank you, Prof. Suhaimi, for this kind of actually very interesting sharing topics. This is what we call it as the collaboration in reality. Because once we started with engineering a few years ago, I think almost 10 years, the
Almost 10 years.
engagement that we started on the mutual understanding on the particular on pollutions, right?
Yeah.
So when
Okay.
we came to Senibong, that time is under the front concept. Sunia Berhad is actually under engineering, and
yes.
we try to actually discuss what the things from the university can help them and to assist, especially when they always complaining that the river is actually should be engaged very well or should be treated very well by the authority, not by the by the private entity. So that actually our challenge that day, because we try to engage as you listen from him. We have, I think, few series of discussion with IRDA, with DOE, with DID that time. And I think we don't have only one. Actually, we don't have the very strong activists that time. We only managed to towards to the discussion between the public and private entity, no with other activists. If we have activists over there, I'm sure that this area will be one of the major what we call that challenges for us to try something else, not only on the technical part. So when we have a discussion with Mr. Lee and his team, actually that time I brought my mentor from Japan, Professor Kenzo. Okay,
Kenzo.
Professor Kenzo actually helping us in terms of very simple method. He tried to make sure that this project is actually very simple to make another solution, not only today or that day, but also in future. So we call it as a cappuccino river. You know why cappuccino river? Because that one is a very good indicator for us to know that the pollution is not coming from this activity, from not from this construction activity, but it's come from the existing factory there, and that factory is actually producing coffee, and that coffee is actually blend together with the water there, and suddenly we come up with the cappuccino idea. So the cappuccino is because of it's a floating debris there. If you can have a kind of video, I think Mr. Ling has still has some document on that, and very
Yeah.
interesting. So the cappuccino river now becomes more actually in a good quality. If you
Ah,
have time to visit Senibong Cove, I think
yeah.
you will actually. This is the history why the river not only as a Sungai Luncu name, but also the cappuccino, the Sungai
Cappuccino.
Cappuccino. So, but actually,
Undrinkable cappuccino. Cappuccino which cannot
yeah,
drink, yeah.
you can try Google from the internet. There is no such of the name of the sungai based on the cappuccino. None. So I think this is a very unique name for Senibong. I think for the brandings and visibility for Senibong is a good one, because internationally platform, they want to understand why this river is naming after the cappuccino. So this is actually what we are trying to do on the natural remediation. So that's why we come up with a solution on that. So this is a kind of views you can see during the early construction by this kind of company, and during that time, Mr. Ling, I think he actually very much enthusiasms, motivations. Actually, he said that this is not my job to clean up the river. It's a job with others, it's a job of
Authority.
other, something like that, right? But Mr.
And now
Ling
we become
actually
NGO.
question. He said that Fadil, he said to me and also to Prof Kenzo, every time when we visit to Senibong Cove, I think after the site visit, the most interesting is we have a lunch together. We have a kind of coffee break. But during that kind of discussion,
Prof. Adil,
actually, yes,
does it relate to Iskandar Malaysia planning? Is it part of it, or is different?
no, that actually, when we discussed with Irda, they said that it is not part of that because it is under the private entity, and they actually willing to contribute as a what we call that strategic partner. So because that time they need a kind of fundings, especially towards to that kind of cleaning. So
Alright.
you have to understand, Mr. Ling has to invest, I think, million to make sure that this river is clean. So that's this is what very interesting to this project, because Mr. Ling and UTM try to make a kind of smart partnership, smart technical rehabilitation, and try to engage more cleaning in a different way. So I think this is what my motivation why UTM has to continue again and again with Senibong, because he showed to me especially what exactly the best things in terms of this thing. So I do believe that everybody, if you are listen to this kind of, you watch this kind of session, this is very interesting to know Mr. Ling is the good partners as a good collaborators. I think his idea, his motivation is different with other people out there, because other people are only thinking about the ROI, profit, profit, profit. But he's thinking about what's to bring academics, to bring private entity, to bring the authority be part of this, because I think he loved the environment. He loved that kind of I'm not so sure why Saraukian, maybe something like that. Maybe I believe so, because they are more natural on that things. So I do believe that. Okay, and we have since then we have some collaborations towards to that one, and this is what our research. As I mentioned earlier, our discussion is not only stopping at Senibong. Sometimes we move to Ion. That times Ion is just constructed and completed that one. So Mr. Ling asked us, can we have a lunch over, in Ion, something like that, right? And after the Senibong is actually having their own restaurant, so he said that why we don't have this kind of lunch over here, something like that. But once over a lunch, he always throws some ideas. He always thinking something more beyond to what he actually imagined for that kind of Senibong. So that's why making me something like terrible, especially we are
Brainstorming
academicians.
session. Always a brainstorming.
Challenge on
Right.
you, right?
Yeah, we actually try to make sure that we should be some significant impacts to others. But Mr. Ling is actually show us the light. Okay, maybe IEM is the best, something like that. But not only IEM, you have to engage with this and that, something like that. So that's actually my motivation working with Mr. Ling. Okay,
And then with my team, with my company and team.
With the team member there, and also I very enjoy working with them. Actually, during that time we don't have any funding. To be honest with all, we don't have any funding. But Mr. Ling said to me, Fadil, if you need any space, please come to us. We have a space for you. If you want to do some testing, we have some testing for you, because we are doing the EMP. During that time, he must do monitoring every month, if I'm not mistaken. and
Yes.
he actually willing to share the analysis with us.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
That's good.
Right,
Yeah.
without any signing, any document, any confidentiality, something like that, none. But he trusts me and he gives me that kind of things. So I think it is very, I'm very honored and
Honest.
very,
Yeah.
very
To work
happy.
with engineering. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because we are academician, we need the data. With the
Sure.
data,
Yeah.
then we can try to predict and try to do some kind of advice for the technical purpose. So during
Yeah.
that time, we tried many kind of research element, and Prof Kenzo showed to us a very simple method because we actually sampling that kind of we call it as a grab sample, and then we try to investigate what exactly the matters, what the organic matters over there. And even the team of Mr. Ling very wandering, you can see that kind of abundance of top oil boom, right? But
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, with all, the species still can survive there. They said that the fishes, some kind of items, they still alive, can survive, and actually they receive a few feedbacks from also from the orang asli. The orang asli there is a Seletar, orang asal Seletar.
Orang harus
Okay.
seletar.
So during that time, they said, "Oh, we don't have any problem," but that one is make us very headache. How to solve this kind of thing? Because this is temporary. This is not the permanent, pollution because
Solution.
it's coming from the industry side. So we try to do a kind of zeolite potential and something like that. Then it actually been tested. So it
Yeah,
proved
I can see
this is a
that.
good
Yeah.
one for this kind of murky materials, from, especially from the water. And we try to investigate and do a kind of analysis. And further on, we are doing some, we call it as CSR, not a CSR, but as a volunteer from
Yeah.
us, because Mr. Lee already volunteered many things. He shared with us the data, the facilities, and also the spaces over there. And UTM also sharing something. So we do some kind of checking the water
Mm,
quality, and we
mm.
still found that the water quality is good
Yeah.
in terms of physical, the DO level, the temperature, the salinity is actually is as a natural, or what we call that, the existing condition as before they came as the construction over there. And then it's actually making us a very try to do a kind of investigation further, especially how to clean, because we know that once 6 months after, if we cannot remove this kind of oily
Mm,
things and those kind of
contamination.
residue from the factory, it will be as the sediments in
Yeah.
the swampy area. The sediment is actually very, very important for us to study. Okay, so that's why we do a kind of laboratory test, and we do some investigation, and we do some a kind of monitoring for Mr. Ling, and also the team of Mr. Ling also asking us what exactly your findings, what exactly your result over there. So we
Okay.
already,
Yeah.
so without funding, we still can do a kind of engagement.
Mm,
Even
mm.
Mr. Ling, very, he said to me, please, Dr. Fadil, please write any kind of cost. We can pay, something like that. He want to do that things first. But I said to Mr. Ling, this time is not the cost. This time is about knowledge first. Because we are actually very concerned about what happens there, because we need to stop the pollution first. I said to Mr. Ling,
Yeah.
it's unfair for you to pay us because of someone actually did that. It's not because from you. So that's why never come any proposal from me, from my side, from my team. I never put a bill to him. I said that my my something contribution
Only
to the
lunch, only lunch.
only only okay. So we are doing that thing. So I want to motivate people out there, the
Yeah.
academician,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
cost or money is not everything, because
Yeah.
you have to do a kind of genuine research first. Otherwise, you may have a very wrong, or maybe different views or different research element you introduce to our
Right.
partner. So that's the reason why we are doing that one, and we started with what we call it a concept with vulcanized coconut fiber. I think Mr. Ling, you still remember that time. And we
Yes.
published 2 papers from these things, and we tried this method to our UTM Skudai River. UTM Skudai River, we already tested the material, and I think Mr. Ling, you still remember my student. She's now
Yes.
working as one of researchers in
Yes.
private college there, and she still continue for this kind of development.
Oh, very
So
good.
one what we try to do and to promote, not only as a research element but a kind of other value. And this is what the application what and kind of fiber. The first is the palm oil fiber, and another one is the coconut fiber. So
Coconut.
we found that this is very interesting. Coconut fiber is actually the best compared to the palm fiber, all right, in terms of absorption. And we also making this another proposal to Mr. Ling. If you want to do this material as your landscape material, because this already absorbed nutrient, those pollutants, so you can use that as what we call a setback for your landscape. So I think no problem if you want to continue later on with this kind of. We already shared the result to Mr. Ling. Okay, and then further we discuss and we develop more towards to the engineering purposes, and we are doing some kind of rough idea, and we focus on what's the base, what we call that design for this kind of fabrication. Later on the specific view, and also we have how much, how many kilograms that we need to develop for that things. This is actually to promote to their canal, right? The first thing
Okay.
because when we listened to Mr. Ling, he said that he developed a canal because they want to attract their residents to be
Yes.
use that canal back, and also to appreciate that kind of beauty of the canal. So in order to protect the canal, so we are introducing this coconut fiber as one of the reason if they want in future. So it means
Yeah.
that we already have some kind of investment for this one, so they can introduce. But I said to Mr. Lee, please wait until we have we treat well our pollution, because the pollution is coming not from you but
From the
someone
from the
else.
factory. Yeah. Around. Yeah.
So this is things
So,
I
Prof.
will
Fadil,
just
looking at your project, it did, I mean, require some, I mean, funding investment to run your experiment. Yeah. So
yeah,
how do you actually handle that? Because
yeah.
yeah, you want things to happen first, but somehow like constraint of financial. How you actually take that as a challenge, and
Okay,
how you move
thank you,
forward?
Prof. Suhaimi. Actually, I will come to that.
Okay. Yeah.
This slide will be answering your your remarks and something how we can handle that one and how we manage
Yeah. Yeah.
to do this. But Mr.
Interesting.
Lee actually very guilty because he said that he used every single materials and information from UTM, but none
Mhm.
coming from him. But I said no problem, because this is what the genuine research that we want to develop and to create a trust. Because Mr. Ling, I think he believe in term of long-term partnership rather
Yeah.
than a
Yep.
short-term,
Yep.
because this is
Yep.
actually for future, right? Everybody can chip in, everybody
Yep.
can contribute to that things. So uh, for that kind of reason, Prof. Suhaimi, now after we engage with
Yeah.
him, we did a kind of lab testing, and
Mm,
then we have a kind of pre results. So I
mm,
said to Mr. Lee, can we move to the next phase? The next phase is we are asking for the knowledge transfer project. And that time,
yeah.
if Mr. Lee remember, the project leader is Professor Azlan.
Mm.
Okay.
Professor Azlan Abdul Rahman. Why Professor Azlan Abdul Rahman? Because during that time, I'm the first already been appointed as a campus sustainability, and during
Mm.
that time, Professor Azlan is my boss, and he asked me any kind of project that we can contribute back to the society. So this is the project. This is the first project with Professor Azlan we developed in terms of
Correct.
water quality at Sungai Luncu. And I think, Mr. Ling, you still remember that time when we present this to KPT. That time we
KPT.
have one of the discussion, big discussion with the panels, and you was there, right? You brought the team over there, and we explained to the panel that why this must be funded by KPT. So this is the reason when we come up with the project, and the project must also engage because Mr. Ling is represent the private company, private entity. So we need the community. So at that time, Mr. Ling connect us with the orang asal Seletar. So this is one of the he mentioned about the orang asal 24 families. Yes, this is one of the
Yeah. Okay.
my student, not orang
From
asli, this is my student. This is the orang asli. They are situated somewhere in Sungai Senyok there. They actually plans their activity to the activity of fishermen, something like that, around that area. And because of they have a business also for seafood restaurant. One of their but they having that restaurant over there, but they don't bother anything about the pollution and everything. But they bother about maybe because of the construction, maybe
yeah,
the diversity over
disturbing.
there will be deteriorated, right? But
Yeah.
we already, this is very interesting. We already mentioned during our final closure to our national KTP here, we found that the biodiversity is still exists there. It's not deteriorated
Oh,
due to
that's
this
great. That's
conservation.
great.
Senibong Cove already did their job very well in order to protect the water entity and water biodiversity over there.
Yeah.
What we need to do is protect from the outer, division there from the factory, as well as to promote more. And
Yep.
because of that, we have, many kind of projects, and we include also Jakwa. During that time, Jakwa
Yeah.
also noticed this is one of the big projects, and we're still very interested to know further what's the collaboration towards to that one, especially with Jawa. And also we have a kind of partners. So this is part of the partners that we already
Yeah.
collaborated. Okay, and
2017.
kind
Okay.
of observation objective, I just want to skip all the KTP progress. And this is what the survey that we did with the orang asal Seletar, and they are very happy. I'm not so sure what Mr. Ling did to them, but they are happy. They are happy
Yeah.
when the construction is over there. They can still have some activities over there. It
Mm-hmm.
not be disturbed them. So this is
Even,
one of
even maybe the activity also improve their daily life probably. So that's why the main reason they are happy. I think. Yeah.
yeah, because
Yes,
of
yes.
one of the reason here is because they are doing the dredging side very well. So no more the sediments actually interfere the water
Okay.
contamination. As I and also our team actually shared with him, with Mr. Ling, if the sediment is good, means everything will be good. Because you have to remember this area very fascinating, very what you
Yeah.
gonna challenges for us. You know why? Because the tidal effect is very very huge. You cannot discharge everything to the Strait of Johor. You cannot do that one because easily in few hours it will come back to you.
Yep.
I think
I
the
know.
engineers from the Senibong Cove will explain it later on because the level is very very huge one. Okay,
Yes.
and of course we have some. I actually very happy. This is the first actually cost from Senibong Cove. They already funded us for this seaweed platform. So that's why Mr. Ling asked me back, what happened to the sweet? What happened to sweet? Okay, this is one of the very good reason we brought new team on the biodiversity in this area because last time the seaweed is actually very very good and very good value for the fishes and biodiversity over there. So it suddenly when we introduce in the system, the seaweed is disappear.
Okay.
The seaweed disappear because it has some attraction from other fishes. They eat that kind of seaweed. So that's why we want to introduce something more resist and also very good in terms of making another biodiversity over there. So that's why Senibong already contribute some fundings for this kind of platform, and the platform still exists there until today. Right?
So meaning to say that you grow seaweed as well, or this
Yeah, we actually have a collaboration with FRI, Fishery Research
FRI?
Institute in Gelang Patah. So they are actually
Seaweed.
helping us in order for us to culture that seaweed and introduce over here.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And finally, this is the water quality. I think I just want to skip. Actually, water quality here is class 3, somewhere class 3, right? But once the project coming from the factory, so class 4 and class 5. So actually, towards to the future, not only the quality to class 3, but we are thinking class 2. So
I
this
see.
is actually what we are, discuss and how to do and to develop together on that. And there are some few outcome and impacts. I think I don't want to continue it. If you have some question, you can throw
What
the
about
question.
fisheries? What about fisheries? There any improve or any or you call it increase in activities in fisheries?
Yes, so that's what we are thinking for future planning. So that's why fisheries
And
studies must be. And we are very lucky because we have colleagues and a group from FBME, okay, in UTM. So they are willing to contribute and to introduce the biodiversity as
I
well as
see.
to keep the water clean. So that's why
Yeah.
Mr. Ling very happy. He said that every time when we came to Senibong, we introduce new things. So now it's about the new generation,
Yeah.
young and also very motivated. So they want to do something else,
Yeah. So
because
the reason I asked this because we did a dry run of this last month. So during that presentation, I saw that engineering showed to us uh, a person actually catch a fish from behind of their house. I mean, is that
Yeah,
that
later I can share the photo. Yeah,
oh,
it's
yeah,
our resident.
that one,
It's
yeah.
our
yeah, yeah.
resident. A
Good
few
one,
of our
good one.
resident.
Yeah, yeah.
This is back to you, Mr. Ling. Now I'm finished.
Okay. Yeah,
Thank
go
you
back
very
to you,
much.
yeah, Mr. Engineering. Yeah.
Professor Fadil, thank you
Now,
very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, this is actually is back to 2013. No, actually the few slide actually is we show it during the 2010, 11, 12. During the time actually river is still polluted, but after that they are measure all these things. I think that all the measure actually is beside the UTM's all the research. Professor Fadil team the research all these things. I mentioned engagement with the local authority and our river dredging, OEM, all these things. So actually the river water quality has been improved a lot. But however, why we still continue working with UTM and Professor Fadil team? Because we are looking long term. We are not looking into talking about after finish our selling our house already, we just leave it like that. So we are looking into for the resident. The project must be sustainable. So it means because this is next to a river, so it makes sure water quality actually is the quality is maintained all the time. Next. So just now actually just now the slide actually you see the fishermen doing the fishing. But by the way, on and off, the fishermen actually still come over doing the fishing, catch a crab. Because you have a swamp, so you can find a lot of crab over at the swamp area. Yeah. So this is Senibong Cove, the master plan. Touch base. I think this is from just now the lamp shape in the form. So this is our what we call it the overall master planning. Next.
yeah, okay.
If those haven't been to Senibong Cove, maybe I just do some introduction. This is our main entrance. So when you enter, you see this is the what we call green boulevard. Yeah. So beside the water, we have planted a lot of trees, especially rain trees lah.
Yeah.
As a canopy. Next.
Canopy.
This is the park next to when you enter the Senibong, this is a park next to the highway. So normally, I think for a lot of developer, they will fully make use of this, what do you call that? This pocket of the land. French is quite big. It's around 5 acres. It's fronted. So if you're those for in KL, you see, fronted the highway of the main road, they will make it as a mixed development, shopping mall, hotel, office tower, this thing. But actually, we make it as a park. So actually, we don't look into the ROI on this aspect. The parks actually will introduce the water pond. This water inside the pond actually is from the river. So high tide water flow in, and we also introduce the aerator also. So we use that pond also for the water quality monitoring. So we take the sample of this thing from there. Next. There is another park I think is quite unique, which I want to share. Originally, this park, there is a one main drain actually is cut through the park. So normally for the houses actually facing the main drain, I think it's a lot of buyers actually try to avoid houses facing the main drain. But when you have a crisis, always there is an opportunity. So this main drain actually we connected with the park. We introduced a pond, so it become a water features. So when the high water actually flow in, we introduce a weir. That is how we can retain the water. So the houses actually, instead of facing the main drain, actually become alive.
Mr. Ling, this is the original photos, right?
This is the original photo. I think on the top is our original planning.
Yeah.
Next.
Engineer, do you plan to show some video, things like that? Because I think we almost about,
Okay.
Oh, maybe just finish off the slide.
Yeah.
I think not that many. Okay, this is the marina, and then a marina temporary we have a restaurant, seafood restaurant over there. So Professor Suhaimi, when you're here, we can buy you a seafood here. But the seafood is not from the Sungai Lunchu, no worry. Okay, besides that, actually the security is important also. So we have a very integrated security for the whole project. Next. You see, at those houses near to the water, normally the buyer actually is concerned about the safety or security. So we have our own the security. Next. This is our first phase. You see, those are houses actually is facing the water. This is how it looks like. So this is not Australia. This is Johor Bahru. Next. Some of the houses facing the inner canal. Those houses not facing the canal, facing the swimming pool. So you can see the water. Next.
Prof. Suhaimi, I've been here for I think 2-3 times. I already have the experience inside the house. Even I can't buy the house, but I have the experience there.
Yeah, I can see it really look nice now. Yeah, from this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Beside this is some of the all the houses actually we also very emphasize on the ESD. So we incorporate the solar heat panel heater, and even the house actually not facing the canal, river, or swimming pool. We introduce the stream. So we pump the water. We pump it from the canal, and we throw inside the stream. Throw in the stream is a man-made stream, and flow out. And at the same time, introduce a fountain. I think this is quite unique. Next.
Unique, yeah.
This is some of the houses actually facing the canal. Apartment, we also have an apartment. Fairly speaking, we are not selling very high price, talking of 1,000 per square foot. No, our actually product, we are still looking around 70% local buyer. Next. The view is important. So it means this is overlook.
Oh, yes.
Next.
Very nice view.
Okay. You see, this is this is the apartment, the what I call that, the layout design. So there is a single loading, a lot of cross ventilation and lighting. Light. So there is what not only the water, swamp, green, all these things, also at the same time also lighting. The ESD side. Next. There are a few more slides. I think this is some of the latest project also. This is a Senibong Cove, is quite unique. I think it's this could be probably the first in Johor. We, instead of the park next to the house, we put a park inside the house. So create a void which you can turn into the inner park. You can have your own privacy also have an activity also inside the park. In
We
the park.
asked Mr. Ling to have engaged with our expert in UTM, especially inside parks and how to make the urban development for this one.
So Pro, not only the external park or garden, we bring the garden inside the house, right? So this is
The
something
garden
I
is
think on the engineering architecture side, something which is quite good experience. Okay, in terms of you have a good product, you have good hardware, you need a also. So problem management, I think, is very important for the long term, or community management for the long term. This is our complete structure. Okay, just now talking about the fish. So these are the fish our from our resident. So far, I think the biggest fish they managed to catch in front, because the house actually the balcony is jutting to the canal.
Yes.
So fish from the balcony.
So
I think the biggest we catch is around 12 to 13 kg. Siakap.
Wow, this is.
This fish is not
I believe it. It's just from back of your house.
Yeah, you don't have to go anywhere.
Just to share, this fish is not buy from the market. Okay, next.
Nice,
Few more slides only. Because water, we had to encourage the water sport activities. Next. I think there is a lot of wedding photo taking, especially during the.
This is nice environment.
This is nice.
This is beautiful. Yeah,
this is how the birds, especially the white stock, been attracted. Because if no marine life, no fish, they will come back. So we see a lot of this white stock.
The layman people only see this. Yeah, when you see there a lot of birds, fish, and the other life things. So they wow, this is the place is nice, right?
Okay, the last two is this where we participate the property award. This is organized by FIAXI. FIAXI, I think, in terms of the equivalent to Oscar award. So first time we participated, we managed to be a winner for the master plan and the environment. And in 2016, we represent Malaysia for the world competition. We managed to clinch the silver award for the master plan in Panama. So I think that's all for our presentation.
Engineering. Wait, because Prof. Fadil already share your kindness to the project, and actually I get to know you since 2007 because I was the committee member of IEM. So probably we miss a very important thing. Could you please briefly introduce yourself so the audience can know a little bit about yourself, because we already say please, few minutes.
I'm Engineer Lin, French-speaking ISO graduate from UTM in 1990 in mechanical engineering. But my current role actually more cover on the property development. But this is also my experience actually back to before after 1993 graduate. I worked in the consultancy line, and the JB City Square is one of the projects where I managed to build the shopping mall. So 2003, 2004, we have an opportunity to work together with a worker group from Australia. And at the same time also, we managed to JV with the state government on this project. This project, I think, is not easy, French speaking. Origin is a fish pond, and then no access road, swamp. So how we turn into a so-called international waterfront in this area. Myself actually also professional engineer in mechanical engineering. Once before I was the vice chairman of IEM Southern Branch, where we work together with Professor Sohaimi.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Ling.
Thank you very much.
Time for video, Prof.
I think it's good. The video is only 2 to 3 minutes only.
Okay, that's fine. So
that can be a conclusion or summary of our presentation.
Yes, summary of presentation. And then before that, I would like to thank you so much, Engineer Ling, for be with us.
Welcome.
So I hope this is not the last one. We would like to hear more from you next time. And also, Prof. Fadil, thank you so much
Yes, thank you,
for
Prof. Fadil.
the engineer. Yeah. So I don't know. Can we take some question from one question, engineer Ling? Maybe we can take one, two question. Yeah. Is it okay?
Oh, I see. Okay, no problem.
Okay, there's one question. How did you ensure any sediment dispersion from dredging did not encroach into Singapore waters?
Oh, frankly speaking, I think not only our local authority is concerned, even Singapore side also very concerned.
Yeah. Mhm.
So we are doing the reclamation. Frankly speaking, Singapore, the consulate also visited us. That is how I know them also. But so far, what we have carried out, we fully comply with the EIA requirement.
Mhm.
Water sampling has been taken from time to time. So even now, also actually, we have finished our project. We still carry out the water sampling
Yeah,
quarterly.
still continue. Yeah. Mhm.
Yes, because we still have some what they call that land construction activity. Because we feel that is important. We don't want to have end of the development become a controversial
Yeah,
and
controversial.
all the fishermen nearby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
on top
Yeah.
on top of that, Prosaimi, actually, that's why that's the reason we have a new group from the hydraulics, because last time we don't have any person who actually can advise him,
Yeah, on the
and
hard.
this new group will actually try to make sure that all the hydrodynamics, hydraulics,
Yeah.
dispersion,
Yeah.
everything's there will be taken care by this.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you for the Ahmad Khadi was asking that question just now. Yeah. So, do we have any more questions? If not, we can show the video
Yeah,
for
sure.
Fadil to
Yeah, yeah.
the finale of our webinar today, right?
Right. Okay. Okay.
Senibong Cove, a prime location of the Sanda Johor, is a living paradise surrounded by nature, located at the river mouth of Lunju River. Its surroundings is truly an ecotourism asset with great plant and animal biodiversity. Lunju River was exposed to various forms of pollution from nearby industrial development, quarries, and commercial activities. Senibong Cove saw this as a critical issue and made rehabilitation of the river a priority. Dredging activities began in 2010. Oil booms were installed to monitor the river's level of pollution. Effective microorganism mudballs were used to eliminate harmful microorganisms and bring the river back to its natural state. The restoration effort was successful, and Lunju River now complements the waterfront lifestyle of Senibong Cove. The book titled River Biodiversity was sponsored by Senibong Cove to enhance the awareness of readers of the mangroves and its organisms. A clean environment makes a world of difference to residents here. Residents can now engage in an endless array of water-based activities, enjoying the pristine river through kayaking among the mangrove. Paddle boating is an ever-popular family water sport. It is a true tropical water paradise for yachting and sailing. With healthy aquatic life, Senibong Cove is now a fishing haven. The ecosystem surrounding Senibong Cove is a thriving community of marine life. Professors from UTM and Japan's Nagoya Institute of Technology continue to tackle pollution through continuous river rehabilitation. Water from the mangrove is channeled to ponds so that its quality can be constantly monitored. Vulcarized coconut biofilters are used to protect and sustain the ecosystem. Crushed seashells, zeolites are used to filter water and waste. Seaweed and eelgrass help in sustaining the ecosystem by filtering pollutants and increase productivity of plants. Senibong Cove continues its effort to improve the surrounding of Lunju River, ensuring a clean and healthy lifestyle.
Thank you so much. What a nice ending.
Nice
So,
ending. Yeah.
yes, yes. Thank you so much, Engineer Ling, Prof. Fadil.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Thank
Okay.
you.
yeah. Thank you. Bye bye. Yeah. Hope
Thank
to
you.
see you
Bye
again.
bye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take
See you.
care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Start.